Welcome to Keeping It Real with Dr. Linda Chinn. This is the podcast where real life choices meet biblical truth without the fluff. Tune in every second and fourth Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as Dr. Chinn shares faith-filled, practical insights to navigate everyday challenges. Get ready for real talk, real life, and real answers.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Keeping It Real with Dr. Linda Chinn. I'm Audrey Bell Kearney, the producer of the show. Happy Labor Day to all of you. Hope you guys are having a beautiful day. We're in Georgia, so it's a little overcast here, but it's still nice, so we won't complain because it could be pouring out raining, but it's not. So we won't complain about that. I know a lot of people are grilling. Some people grilled yesterday, but we're happy to be here with you today. Dr. Chinn has a great guest today. He's coming on. They're going to be talking about live until you die. That's interesting, right? That's really interesting. But before we get on with the show, I want you guys to do us a favor. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, subscribe to the channel, share it with 2 people. We appreciate that because the more people you share it with, the better algorithms love us and the more people we get to reach. So we want you to do that for us. Do that favor. Share the show, subscribe to the show, and always be sure to go to the website and check out what Dr. Chinn is doing and all the amazing work and all of the great things. So without further ado, I'm going to bring them to the stage. Now, we have had a little bit of technical difficulties, so we may experience some. If we do experience some, please bear with us. We're trying to get it fixed. Listen, we can't control, as much as I love tech, we can't control tech. So we are trying our best to make sure everything is working properly. So I'm going to bring them to the stage, and if things are not working out properly, just bear with us, okay? Without further ado, Dr. Chinn and Corey Webb, her guests, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello. And Corey, I don't know if you can hear us, but whatever we need to do to get this working, we are praying. And so let me just give you an introduction and to tell you about Corey. And Corey Webb, I've been knowing him for a long time. Can you hear us, Corey? Okay, he can't hear us.
Okay, I'm going to pull him down, Dr. Chinn, and then I'm going to check and see if there's anything I need to do on my end. Please bear with us. You do the intro, and I'll take him down.
Okay, thank you. So let me just tell you a little bit about my friend Corey Webb. I've known him a little over 11 years, actually, and he's a wonderful guy. Now, there's some things you can know people forever, but there's some things about him that I never told Corey that have always intrigued me. So let me just tell you a little bit about him before we get started and while we're working to get the sound up. He's a visionary entrepreneur, Corey is. He's an entertainment strategist, and he's a great community. He's active in the community, and his career bridges like music, marketing, live events, and outdoor exploration, right? And of course, and media as well. But he's got more than 20 years in experience in all of these that I have mentioned to you. Media. He is he works at the Riverside Epicenter as their entertainment and community engagement manager. And he is doing a phenomenal job at the Riverside Epicenter. If you don't know where that is, that's 212 Riverside Parkway in Austell, Georgia. But anyway, he serves, he does some of the technical services there and some of their business development. But Corey is an adventurous person, and he does camping and nature indoor. I remember he sold RVs for a while, and I'm like, how in the world is he selling RVs? I never saw that coming, but he did extremely well there. He's got a business, and he's a CEO of CW Enterprises, and it is Corey Webb, of course. The CW is Corey Webb, and I love it. It's a venture company, and it includes Corey Webb Travels. It includes Adventure Vehicle Roundup, and that's what AVR stands for, if you didn't know. He does some consulting, and he's also part of the Black Adventurer Society. He is Maxwell Leadership Certified. I mean, he's a well-rounded person, and I love Corey, always have. What I didn't know and never shared with him actually was that I love his sense of adventure. And that's why we invited him on the show. I've been hearing this in my spirit, live until you die. Live until you die. Don't just exist, but live. When is the last time you've done something for the first time, right? That's a question for you. And so I thought about him. He's been involved with Def Jam South, Interscope, Atlanta Records, Universal Music, and video distribution. So he's done quite a bit. So I'm hoping we can get this up, Corey.
All right, Dr. Chinn. So we're gonna bring him up. He can hear us now, so that's great. So I'm gonna bring him up, and then I'm gonna go down.
All right. Thank you. Hallelujah. How is Corey today?
Good afternoon, everybody. How are y'all doing today?
Yay.
Can y'all hear me just fine?
Yes.
Okay,
I
good.
can hear repeat. I can hear reverb in the back. So we need to fix that. You got two things on?
No, I only have the one thing on.
All right.
Huh. That
We're going to
is.
move
Go ahead.
forward. I want to ask you some questions. So
Sure.
you can work on that. But it is a little disturbing.
Mm, yeah, I need to maybe if I turn it down some here. Let's try that.
All right.
Is
So
that better?
no,
No. I'm sorry, Dr. Chin. I'm not
it's okay.
100%
Let's move forward. It's
why
okay.
it's
We're
doing that.
overcomers. It's
Sure.
really
Dr.
okay.
Chinn, it sounds okay, Dr. Chinn. It doesn't sound like I don't hear a lot of reverb.
All right. Excellent.
Okay.
I thank God for these two people right here. I'm telling you. So, Corey, I was just giving a little bit about your background and your bio, and I don't know if you heard part of it, but one of the things when you and I were talking the other day is I never shared with you over the 11 years I've known you how much I admire your sense of adventure. I'm like, this guy, like when you first started selling RVs, I'm like, get out of here. How did he move from this to that? Right. And so, that was interesting for me. Then when I saw you posting some of your photos RVing and on some kind of all-terrain vehicle going through streams and stuff, I'm like, this guy is really adventurous. So I want to ask you a couple of questions. What does adventure mean to you personally?
Oh wow, that's such a loaded question. But to me personally, adventure is discovery. Is ultimately what it is. Um,
Okay.
you know, to discover ourselves, to discover God's creation, to discover one another, right? That's what adventure really is, to me at least. What's around the corner? What is the next thing? Um, and anything honestly can be an adventure. Whether it's a new business you're trying to start, new relationship, you're like me, a new
Mm,
parent.
mm.
It's all an adventure. Um,
Okay, so he said adventure is discovery. All right, y'all. So when you want to discover something new, and like he said, relationships, new parent, it's really discovery, and I love that. So now I'm hearing it, explorer, right? Like this great explorer, and that makes me think of you too. But so was there a specific activity you did that made you realize you were wired for adventure? Like when did that wake up in you?
oh, early on as a child, actually. Um, let's see. I mean, as a kid, I was in the Cub Scouts and the Boy Scouts, and
Mhm.
I had my uncle was my scout master. He was our scout leader. So going camping, even as a young child, or going fishing with my grandfather, those things, it's always been there. But as we grow older and um, just do things in life, we kind of sort of get away from it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then we find our way back.
Mm,
And then and especially you find your way back once you can afford it, because believe it or not, camping is not necessarily adventuring, is not an inexpensive hobby.
mm,
um, and so obviously you hear about kids who go backpacking through Europe and all those kinds of things,
mhm.
and but even then that's the adventure in itself, is just trying to figure it out, right?
Yeah,
Trying to as they
discover.
what's the old phrase, make a dollar out of 15 cents,
Yeah.
so you could keep going, right?
Mhm.
um, that's the adventure, and oftentimes that is where we find ourselves in life,
I
is
love it. I
figuring
love
it
the
out.
insight. So, do you think that everyone, so you said as a kid, that's when you really discovered it was in you. Do you think everyone has an adventurous side, or is it something that you're born with?
I think it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. I mean, as simple as um, being afraid or taking the leap to go get on that roller coaster at the amusement park. That's an
Mm.
adventure.
Mm.
Or for those of us who are, who innately in us feel a calling, feel a longing or wanting to go do something, you feel like you were called to go do more.
Mhm.
um, that is also some of it. I just believe it's a combination of all of those things.
So, what's the most exciting or unforgettable adventure you've done so far?
Living my life. um, I mean, that's the short answer. I mean, but if it's a specific place or activity or having to go on to go do something, um, I would say thus far I love and enjoy going out to the Carolinas, particularly in North Carolina. Pisgah National Forest um, is one of my favorite places. The
Really?
Natahala Outdoor Center and camping all in that area is fun for me. There's one particular trail out there called Hurricane Creek. Is what I really love. It's just off of Interstate 40, right there where North Carolina and Tennessee come together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's that particular trail can be a little harrowing if you're not ready for it, if your mind isn't ready for it. Um, but that was probably to date, I would say, one of my most greatest adventures, if you will.
So, was it hiking or was it RVing? What did you do?
It was off-roading actually. It was taking my 2014 Lexus GX 460 and hitting the trail. A lot of
Wow.
people don't realize how capable a Lexus GX actually is. I mean, underneath, it's a Toyota Land Cruiser. Other places they call it the Prado, and you put that thing in four-wheel drive, and it'll go just about anywhere.
All right.
Um,
Y'all hear
yeah,
him, right?
and
Yeah,
so
with those Lexus RVs, I see somebody's wheels turning, Corey. So let me ask you: have you ever been on an adventure, and I need you to be transparent, where you were scared out of your mind?
um, I would say once because I don't particularly like bears.
Oh,
So probably about 6 years ago or so, maybe, I went on a hiking trip with some friends up in North Georgia in the North Georgia slash Tennessee up in the Cohutta Wilderness area, and it was a 5 mile hike in, 6 miles out, and it was that time of year when bears are waking up,
oh no.
and you know when you're out there and you're just sleeping in a tent on the ground, and you're not 100% what some of those noises are that you hear it in the dark. Um, yeah, that was a particular
Mm.
instance where I was probably a bit scared.
What did you do?
Mm, I don't. I recall probably having a bad dream and kind of screaming a little bit, thinking that we were about to be attacked, but that wasn't what it was. Because that was one of my first times actually having to go camp in the wilderness in such a way where the guide told us you have to hang your food in a tree, and so the bears won't get it. And because bears are pretty smart, they know how to open car doors and maneuver into things, to get food how they want to. I mean, think about the old cartoon Yogi Bear and Boo Boo. They were pretty ingenious when it came to getting themselves a picnic basket.
A
Well,
picnic.
I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't a part of his picnic basket. Um, but I would say that was probably my most fearful time. But then I had to remind myself that faith and fear don't go together.
Say
Um,
that again.
I said faith and fear do not go together.
Faith
Um,
and fear don't go together.
that's right. So I had to remind myself, wait a minute, it's okay. I'm out here with a group of people. We were
Hmm.
all prepared.
Hmm.
What am I worried for?
Okay. All right. I'm not going to ask you how you were prepared. I'm going to leave. We can have that conversation later. What you
I
brought.
mean,
I know you brought something other than that food,
I
but
mean, we had there was bear spray, and
okay.
for my 2A folks, if you know what that means, we were prepared.
Okay.
Hmm.
Amen.
Hmm.
So, have you ever gotten lost?
Oh, plenty of times. That's part of the adventure.
Oh God, help me. How did you find your way back? What did you
I
do?
mean, the easiest way is knowing which way the sun rises and sets. And you figure it out. Hope sometimes you don't get so far into the backcountry
Mm,
that you get totally lost. But then again, we're still prepared for those situations too.
mm,
Believe it or not, your iPhone now has satellite communication where you can, still be reached, still be found in the event that you get lost. But we have GPS and maps and just good old fashioned intuition.
Okay, y'all
So
know
maybe
the
you say,
phones are
oh wait,
tracking us.
I, we passed that sign twice already 2 miles ago. I think we're going the wrong way.
Do you lead people on adventures? Do you take other people as a leader?
So I have done that before, and that, interestingly enough, is a perfect segue to talk about my business, actually, which is what I'm beginning to get into now. So I'm getting into some certifications and things like that, so that way I can properly lead people on some of these journeys. I do have a team of folks that I work with, that are have the appropriate certifications, and for medical and wilderness and safety and all that kind of good stuff. But that is the pivot of Corey Webb Travels, which was my travel business, where I was booking cruises and honeymoons and, the guy's trip to Vegas and stuff like that. But now with all my adventure stuff, that is really the thing that is I'm most passionate about, is getting out and showing people what's possible, getting out and showing folks, how to use that Jeep, how to use that Range Rover, how to use that G Wagon, how to get out
Mm,
there and go have fun and have an adventure. I mean, take your
wow.
family. I mean, for instance, we're planning, my family and I, we're planning to go camping for Thanksgiving.
Really? Where? What part of the country?
We're going to Alabama. Thanksgiving will be the 101st meeting of the Turkey Day Classic, which is Alabama State University and Tuskegee University. And so we're going to go to the game. We're going to go camping, and just make a weekend of it. Even coming up in October, Whitney and I, we're going to go to the Biltmore, and some of that will be the luxurious stay, and some
Yeah.
of that will be the outdoors, in our camper stay.
Wow. I'm
Hmm.
excited for you.
Hmm.
Now, I cannot say, well, in fact, I can say I won't be one of those people who go on adventures. I help you promote and all of that, but I'm not. I'm not that adventurous. So I think the most adventurous I am is when I go to different states. There's certain stores I go look for. I'll go adventure for those to go
Hmm.
shopping, but I'm
Sure.
not the outdoorsy type. But that's what I think fascinates me about you, because you are such a well-rounded person, and I never saw that coming in you. Um,
Mm.
but I see it now. So, how do you prepare? What do you do to prepare for a trip or hiking or RVing?
I mean, just like anything else, if you fail to plan, then you should plan to fail.
Mhm.
No different than any other trip that you would take. No different than anything else that you would do. How long am I going to be gone? What are the supplies that I need? So you still got
Mhm.
to think about food, water, shelter, right?
Mhm.
No
Mhm.
different than that luxury trip. How many days
Mhm.
are we going to be gone? Is it going to be the
Mhm.
4-star, 5-star hotel? Do I need to eat at the Michelin star restaurants? You know, it's no different. You plan it the same way. Um, where am I going? What are we doing? What are the activities? What do I want to go see? Is there some little old general store that we want to go shopping at? To find all of those really cool hidden gems, that handmade souvenir, or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. Absolutely.
So Iris says, I'll go camping, but need certain comforts like a bathroom.
Yes. So we do. Hey, when you have to take a woman and a baby, you have the creature comforts. I
Okay.
do.
All
I
right.
do have a portable flushing toilet that I take along with us.
Get out of here.
Yes.
See, this is becoming more and more intriguing to me. Really, it's
Hmm.
becoming so interesting. So, you mentioned earlier about the certifications, and you mentioned some kind of medical training and safety, like
Hmm.
first aid training and safety. That never occurred to me. I never thought about that.
Yeah. I mean, my daughter is coming up, creeping up on 18 months old, right? And before we had her, we went and took CPR training. We went and learned what to do in case if she starts choking. We went and learned, so you would do that for yourselves, right? For your friends and for your family. Um, you need to do the same thing when you're out there
Yeah.
adventuring, right? Um, and so as we form these groups, as we form our relationships, um, we begin. I have friends who's really good at. He's a good mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
In case somebody breaks down, you got to know how to change a tire. You got to know how to. You would have to do that anyway, right? I mean, if I broke down on Interstate 85, yeah, sure, I could call roadside assistance, but I could probably help myself a whole lot faster than before the tow truck comes.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so and then Iris brings up infant CPR is different from regular CPR. You can
Absolutely.
only
And
imagine.
the point I was making is learning those things, that skill set.
Yeah,
Basic first aid,
yeah,
CPR, whether it's adult or a child,
yeah.
basic first aid. All of those things are necessary when you're out here getting lost in the wilderness. I mean, think about it. I'm a member of a hunting club also, right? There's 22 guys in my hunting club, and again, what happens if something happens to somebody if he falls out of his stand, right?
Mm,
Or if
mm,
somebody else is out there, he doesn't have enough of the bright colors that he should be wearing, and somebody shoots
mm,
him.
mm,
How do you triage that situation?
mm,
So
mm.
no matter if it's in the wilderness or if I'm walking down the street at the mall, right? I should always be prepared.
Wow. You're dropping a bunch of wisdom nuggets, and I'm hoping people will listen because there's some things I never really thought about. So I want to ask you another question here
Sure.
is what do you prefer, um, solo adventures or sharing the experience with others?
I would say it's both equally. I have learned that there are certain things I prefer to go do alone, and
Hmm.
there are certain other things that I enjoy sharing and going in certain places. In there's something to be said about sharing stories around the campfire. Where that's
Hmm.
where you get a chance to hear other people's experiences. That's where you get a chance to tell those stories and learn from one another. And then, when I go alone, that is my time with myself. That is my
Yes,
time with God. That is my
yes,
time to, sit and just be still and listen.
yes. I love that. I love it. So then I know you said like you prepare for these adventures and trips like any other thing you prepare for, but is there something that you have to do, should do, and do differently when you're by yourself versus when you're with other people?
It's mainly communication. Having my GPS and making sure that because when you go places where there's no cell signal,
Mm,
I have to make sure that we have devices that allow us to communicate via satellite with loved ones. I tell everybody where I'm going. I
yeah.
leave those GPS coordinates and all that kind of stuff. So heaven forbid anything happens,
Mhm.
well, he said he was going here,
Yeah.
and here's the coordinates. This is his last known position. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
That's good. That's important.
But
Um,
again, you do that anyway, right? You leave and you tell your husband, "Hey, I'm going with my sister, and we finna go to such and so store, or we're going down the street to XYZ."
yeah, but that's different out there in the wilderness with Yogi and Boo Boo. So I'm, I'm just saying.
I mean,
God
again,
bless you.
heaven forbid you're in a car crash on the way, right?
That too. Yes. See, you know what? So this is just past faith. Go ahead. I
Well,
see you thinking.
so most people's car accidents happen within 5 miles of their home.
I've heard that.
So it doesn't matter where you're going, anything is subject to happen. Like I said before, faith and fear or worry don't go together. So I don't even concern myself with it.
Okay, so that's I'm glad you said that because that's what I was about to say. So I get the whole faith and fear, right? And just for those who are listening, there's a difference between being afraid, being worried, and being concerned, right?
Very much so.
Wisdom will tell you wisdom comes with concern. Concern comes with wisdom. fear is a whole other topic, another thing to talk about. But I also think, Corey, that you are brave. See, not
Okay.
everybody is brave. Doesn't mean
Sure.
they're fearful, but some people have a different level of courage than others,
Sure.
right?
Absolutely.
So you're brave. And uh, this just goes to show that you can know somebody for years and there's so much you still don't know about them. So I love that. You know, it's like I said, it's been 11 years since we've known each other, and these things
Oh yeah.
coming out,
Well,
I love it for you. Violet's going to have a really adventurous life, isn't she?
well, oh, absolutely. I remember one time sitting at your desk. You called Sly and I into your office one day. I don't know if you remember this or not. And you said something that really stuck with me. And you said, "You've got to be bold." I don't know if you remember
I do not.
that afternoon. It was an afternoon where you were. I don't want to use the phrase say questioning my leadership or questioning how I was running my department, but um, my responses were like, well, I was really waiting on permission, right? Or seeking somebody to kind of sort of tell me what to do. And we weren't necessarily in that scenario. And you were expressing to me that I needed to be bold, meaning that if it's not going to be detrimental, go do it. Take the chance. Try it because it's probably going to yield the result that we're looking for. And if you go do it and go be bold, being bold to me was don't be fearful.
Mm-hmm,
Don't be afraid.
mm-hmm,
Sometimes it's okay to ask for forgiveness rather than
mm-hmm,
to ask for permission,
mm-hmm.
especially when we know we've been charged with a task and a thing to do, right? Um,
Yes.
and so I would say that probably really lit the fuse. Um, when you have those things rumbling in the back of your mind, and you say, "Man, I wonder, what if, should I, could I, would I?"
Yeah.
And you know, that was the spark that lit the fuse. If that makes sense when I say that.
It does. And I don't remember that, but you know how we worked together for those almost 5 years. It was
Mm-hmm.
wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. But you know, I remember a bishop friend of mine in Connecticut. I was ministering there one day, and he said to me, he said, "You're bold." But you know, a lot of the things what people my boldness came out of being bullied. I was bullied a lot for
Mm.
years.
Mm.
And I don't like bullies. I
Me
don't
either.
like
Yeah,
bullies.
neither do I.
Yeah. And so that's where the boldness came from. I had been afraid so many times. I just had to get bold to the point where, this is do or die. And so, but that's not the topic today. So I want to continue to ask you some other things that what is what's a risk you took that you'll never take again? Is there something that you've done on your trips or adventures that you will never do again? If so, why?
I don't know if I've found that thing yet.
Um,
And that's just being honest.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not 100% if I've encountered or crossed that thing
Hmm.
that I would say, no, I'm not going to do that again. And the
Hmm.
reason why I say that because I've been skydiving, I've been bungee jumping, I've done, you know, some other things. Oh yes, Dr. Chin. Let me tell you, and you know this guy. His name is Sidney Montgomery.
Yes.
Um, Sydney took 21 people, took 21 of us from the church skydiving.
Well, I would have been with the pilot. I'd have been the co-pilot. See.
I say that to say, um, I don't place limits on myself. I have a list.
Ooh, that's a
There's a
word
list
for
of
somebody.
things that I want to go do that I haven't done yet, places I want to go
Mm.
see, do, and experience that I have not yet.
Mhm.
Um, and so that's why my answer is I don't know yet because um, I don't think I've encountered it yet.
I like that. I like it.
Hmm.
So one thing that says to me really is that speaks to your level of wisdom. Because what do they say? Fools run in where angels dare to tread. Some people just go and do anything because it's a risk. But I've been really thinking about this. So what have these adventures taught you about Corey?
That I can do anything.
Jesus, you are dropping them today, bro.
I mean, I mean, but seriously, that I can do anything, and I know God got me, so I ain't worried. You know what I mean? But I'm not foolish either, right?
Right.
Um, but literally, it means that I can do anything. So if I say I want to start a business, I can do that.
Mhm.
If I want to be 48 years old running around an 18-month old, sure, I can do that too. Um,
Mhm.
you know, it's literally I can do anything. I believe I
Mhm.
can go be a race car driver if I wanted to.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
I already know I can't be a pilot. They didn't tell me my vision too bad.
Mm, 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 mm. See, that's wisdom too. Don't be trying to do something you know you have no business doing. You know, that's somebody's word too. But I love that you can do anything, and I hear that. I hear see tentacles coming off that one statement. Like
Hmm.
I can do anything I dare to do. I can do anything that I want to do. If I really wanted to do it, I can do it. And you've got there are so many people out there who have brilliant ideas and are afraid to execute them. That was my fear. That's a whole nother show I see coming. I see that in my mind's eye about something that I was afraid to do and didn't do, and I paid for it. And I tell
Hmm.
you, I paid for it. We'll talk about that another day, y'all. But
Listen,
I love.
Dr. Chin, God places something in all of us. We are put here on this earth to do something in this earth, whatever the something is. And God doesn't take us away from this earth until we've done what it is that He put us here to do,
Mhm,
right? So,
mhm.
but then at the same time, think about how many of us have a purpose, have a thing that we're supposed to do and
Yeah,
give to the world that we don't because of that fear, because of all of those shoulda, coulda, wouldas, because of some family member or friend or classmate or whomever it was that told you you can't, that says, well, why would you do that? Well, why would I not?
mm,
I mean, think about how many books that we haven't had the chance to read that weren't written.
mm,
How many
mm.
songs that were never published. How many, whatever, fill in the blank that people didn't get to do because of the fear, because of the haters, because of self-doubt, right? I
Mm.
mean, if I know who I am
Yeah,
and to whom I belong, I
yeah.
can do it all.
I hope somebody is really, I pray that somebody's fear is broken today because of things that he said. It is my sincere hope that if you're listening, watching now or later, he said, I know I asked him, what did this teach him about himself? And he said that I can do anything. Come on, somebody.
Yeah,
Let's go.
literally.
Let's go. Let's
Because
go.
I'll tell you. So when I'm out camping and hiking and stuff like that, particularly when I'm backpacking,
Mhm.
I think about what life was like before all of the technology, before cars, before phones, before any of these modern conveniences that we have, and how people had to live. We had to rely on each other. We had to rely on God. We had to rely on this earth that He gave us. And we take all of those things for granted. We
Mhm.
take for granted where our food comes from. We
Yeah,
take for granted that the trees give us oxygen to breathe.
yeah,
We take for granted that the water that comes out of the ground and out of the sky. We take for granted of the bees that pollinate the plants that make our food,
yeah, 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 yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I feel like when you reconnect with and begin to understand what He has given to us,
Mhm.
that we sit around and destroy every day, that we sit around and take for granted, um, it just, I don't know, it hits different. It does something different to you.
And this can bring us to something Iris said too. This can bring us to moments that mark us for a lifetime.
Hmm.
Like that statement you said that I made, we had lots of office time and personal time, we
Yeah.
just had lots of time together that was
Hmm.
valuable. But I love that. So it's important to create moments that mark for a lifetime. So some of the things that you all and I am, let's just be honest, may be afraid to do. we're missing out on moments that can mark us for a lifetime, that can help us to go places and do things that, as Corey said, we were created to do. So, what's an adventure, Corey, that you haven't done yet that you dream about?
Oh my gosh, where do I begin? Um, I still want to go out to Utah and go to Moab and go see what they call the Mighty Five, which are these five national parks. Uh, Bryce Canyon, Canyonlands National Park. Um, let's see here. Yeah, Utah's probably the American Southwest basically, or going to go
America.
do the Baja 1000, or the Smoky Mountains 1000. So all of those are on the list for 2026 and 27.
Okay, so he's already thought about things that he wants to do and where he wants to go in the future. So he's done some research. So that
Oh yeah.
also tells me that if you're an adventurer, you need to really do some research. And so
Hmm.
if you could design the ultimate expedition, what would that look like? What some of that, is that what you were just explaining, talking about?
Well, those are just like bucket list places I want to go. But to design the ultimate adventure is actually something I'm working on right now, believe it or
Mhm.
not. Um, I was inspired last year by Dr. Sherry Williams. She is a PhD from Auburn University. That is fact. Actually, she is the first Black person to receive a PhD from Auburn in history. She runs a really fabulous place down in Macon County, Alabama, called The Ridge. It's an archaeological project down there in Macon County where she hosts this thing called the Old Federal Road Storytelling Festival.
Mm.
I went down there last October and learned so much about genealogy. I learned so much about archaeology. I actually went on an archaeological dig at the Ridge Interpretive Center to learn about Native and Black history in Macon County, right? So many people think of Macon County as just Tuskegee, and we think of the Tuskegee experiment and the syphilis and all that stuff, right? We think of the Tuskegee Airmen when there's so much more down there than just that. Um,
Mhm.
you know, so in being inspired by that, it has led me to now be inspired to learn more about Native and Black history throughout the southeastern United States. And what I'm working on is planning a month long expedition through the southeast, through Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, and the Carolinas.
Well, listen, I, you have inspired me to do some other things, and you and I are going to talk real soon after this show.
So it's a little
Real
bit
soon.
of Indiana Jones meets Dr. Henry Louis Gates is what I'm about to embark upon.
For Corey Webb. Y'all remember that name, Corey Webb Travels and Adventures. Y'all remember that. Audrey, I know you've been inspired in the background. Come back up and tell us what Corey has inspired in you today.
So, like you, Dr. Chen, I'm not very adventurous when it comes to traveling. But it was interesting to listen to Corey talk. Corey, I have first of all, let me say this, Dr. Chen, you said something really cool. So I don't know if you did you catch it, Corey, but she said the ultimate expedition. I just found that to be very brandable. So I had to write that down to tell you that because that's very brandable. The
It's
brandable.
okay.
I just wanted to share that with you real
I've
quick.
already been working on the IP for that.
Okay, good. Because I love that when she said that, I was like, "Ooh, that's very brandable." Um, one of the things, oh, so I do have some places I want to go, but first I want to talk about what you said about the United States. There are so many places in the United States that we just ignore because everything is outside of the country. And I lived most of my life in Jersey, right? I was born in Georgia, but I lived the majority of my life in Jersey. Never went to the Empire State Building, never went to the Statue of Liberty, none of those places. So I'm going up there next year in April, and I have a to-do list of places I want to go. So those are on my list. And I also want to go to Madam C.J. Walker's house, which is on the Hudson. And I was
Yep.
like, I've never gone there. So talk about, how can people find like these interesting places to visit in the States? Like we don't have to always leave the States. Like there are a lot of places in the States that we just have not gone to.
I mean, the beauty of all of the modern technology that we have today is that the fact that we have Google.
Yeah.
Whatever it is you can think about or you say you want to do, we can go Google it and find it. I mean, just
Yeah.
like you, when I lived in the Bronx, I had a roommate that who had never left the Bronx. I mean, he
Ooh,
had never gone to Manhattan,
come on.
Wow.
right? And it wasn't until one of my former colleagues took him out on tour that we went out on the road with a particular artist, that he got a chance to see America and see the world.
Wow.
And people
Wow.
think, well, New York City is the center of the universe, and everybody's so well versed in so many things. No, that's not the case. I don't care where you're
Mm.
from, right? There are people right here in Atlanta, in Jersey, in Connecticut, no wherever, that have never left where they're from, who have
Mm,
Oh,
desires to go see and do more,
mm,
but they have a hard time being able to go do it because they have the doubters in one ear and their own fears in the other,
mm.
and they watch the news and all the propaganda and they think, oh, no, 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 we can't do that. Oh, no, 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 I'm not going to do that. You're absolutely right. So, when Whitney and I first started dating, we decided to go be tourists in the city that we live in. And as a result, we ended up
mm.
buying memberships to everything, to the High Museum, to the Atlanta History Center, I mean, to the zoo, I mean, all the things. We went and did all the tourist traps of Atlanta, and you discover, man, Atlanta's a really cool place. Even further, the neighborhood that I grew up in as a teenager in Atlanta is the neighborhood of Martin Luther King Jr. I graduated
Wow.
from Grady High School in Atlanta. That's the same high school Dr. King sent his youngest kids to. It's now called Midtown
Wow.
High, but I say that to say is that there's so much around us that you
Mhm.
don't even realize it until you step out there and go see.
Yeah.
But in America, we're taught, you know, that we're big bad America. We're the greatest, the best, the biggest, the largest at everything, and and we don't have to do anything that's down the street. We need to go fly and go to Spain and Italy and Japan and all these other places, which is fine. All those places are cool. All that stuff is great. But there's a reason why those people came over here from Europe. And if you
Yeah.
look around, you will discover why. America is a great place to go, particularly the southeastern United States is an amazing place to go see and discover.
During the pandemic, when we were trying to figure out places to go, I had never been to Helen. So we went to Helen.
Mm-hmm.
That was beautiful. Had
Oh,
a great
Alpine
time.
Town.
Oh my God, I loved it. I also went to a ranch. Had never been on a horse in my life, had never been
Mm-hmm.
to a ranch in my entire life. My husband and I went to a ranch in Georgia, and I discovered that there was a waterfall literally a mile and a half away from my house. Like literally. And I was a waterfall, Dr. Chin. I'm talking about like that. I was like literally a mile. I don't even know if it was a mile and a half. It might have been a mile from my house. So you're right about that, discovering places. It's just so beautiful. And I think that now people are starting to open up a little bit more. But I will tell you, Corey, the propaganda has put a lot of fear in a lot of people's heart, because it put a lot of fear in my heart, because my nephew plays for Indiana, and my husband and I were going to drive to the game this past Saturday. And I was like, yeah, I'm not driving because I don't know which way to go because of the propaganda. So it does put fear in your heart.
Well,
Last word,
I'm
Corey.
equally as prepared, and I'm not worried about some of those folks who like to put out the propaganda because it's funny because I do experience those things, right? And to back to Dr. Chin's point, Audrey, that was an adventure. You went on an
Mm,
adventure. You discovered that
Mm,
waterfall.
mm,
yep,
You went out to go see and do. That's the
yep,
adventure. It's discovery. That's what it's all about. It
mm.
is discovery.
yeah.
But you were about to say,
Awesome.
Dr. Chan, I'm sorry.
You gave it to us. I was like, oh, Corey, give us the last word. And it was your first word, which was the last word. Adventure is discovery. So thank you
Mm-hmm.
for that. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you so much. I appreciate you more than you ever know. And we're going to
Hmm.
talk really, really sooner than you think.
Oh, wait till you wait till we talk and you learn what's really. We didn't have enough time to talk about it here, but to really learn what's going on. And Audrey, I appreciate you for telling that story too, because like Dr. Chinn has been saying, I hope that it encourages somebody else to go down the street.
Yeah.
That's the adventure, to go down the street,
Yep. Yep.
because you don't know what you'll find.
That is true. Listen, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Keeping It Real with Dr. Linda Chinn. Go check out Corey's website. You want to travel, he's your guy. He's very well versed. He's not even afraid of the bears. Let me say that. Like I've seen some videos with them bears. I'm like, I don't know about that part. But listen, check out Corey's website. It's CoreyWebbTravels.com. CoreyWebbTravels.com. Check them out. And also, if you
I'll
missed
overcome
any
it.
episodes of the show, be sure to go to Dr. Chinn's website. That's LindaChinnMinistries.com to subscribe to the show and share with 2 friends, not 1 but 2. And it's free. Doesn't cost you a dime. If you feel so enthralled to support the show financially, by all means, do that. We appreciate that as well. We'll be back in 2 weeks, same place, same time. So until next time, my friends, make it a great day. Bye, everybody. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Dr. Chinn.
Thank you, Corey. Peace.
Peace.
You've been listening to Keeping It Real with Dr. Linda Chinn. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the like button and share it with a friend. Be sure to support the show by going to LindaChinnMinistries.com. Subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode, and tune in again in 2 weeks at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, keep the faith and keep it real.